Hello dear fans, friends and subscribers. Welcome to a very exciting cricket show, and I'm not going to spill the suspense as yet, and I'm taking you down to Bulawayo in the third tri-series match, which was being played between Zimbabwe and West Indies. And in fact, Zimbabwe batting first mustered 257, and I'm taking you right down to the wire in a very exciting match. The scene is absolutely set here. You're going to get some cricket commentary from me today. As I said, I'm taking you down to fever pitch excitement here at Bulawayo at Zimbabwe. The scene is like this. West Indies right now are absolutely on course for victory. It's just 4 runs that they require from the next 6 deliveries, and West Indies will have victory. And this is the scene right now. Donald Tripano is the bowler. The West Indian captain Jason Holder is on strike. Now one can say that 100 times out of 100 West Indies are going to win this match. They have just lost 5 wickets, 254 for 5, just 4 runs required. Jason Holder and Carlos Brathwaite in the middle. Jason Holder is on strike, Brathwaite is the non-striker, so it's definitely looking like a mere formality. But let's see, cricket has a sort of uncertainty. Cricket is an uncertain game. It can spring a lot of surprises. Now let's see what happens here. Donald Tripano is the bowler. Holder is going to face him, and let's see what happens. The first delivery, a fuller ball outside the off stump, and Holder actually puts it into the sweeper cover region and trots across for a single. So 1 run already nipped off. So now the equation comes to 3 runs required of the last 5 balls. So Brathwaite is beyond strike, and one won't be surprised if Brathwaite will probably complete the match right now by pulling this ball, getting out of the screws he goes, and he probably deposits it into the stands. So that's what probably one would be really thinking. Let's see what happens. Donald Tripano, who has been a very good bowler in this particular match against the West Indies, is coming in. Now comes Tripano passing umpire. It's a slower delivery from Tripano. It's a leg cutter, and Brathwaite has tried to flat bat it. And let me tell you, Brathwaite is gone. Brathwaite has flat batted it, but he has flat batted it to long on in the air. And now Brathwaite is out. So now the excitement is really reaching. It's really getting interesting here. Even though only 3 runs, we would still probably say that West Indies are going to win this match. And Brathwaite is gone, so that's a big wicket, I would say. But Brathwaite gone. Caught Williams bowled Tripano for 9, and now we have 4 legal balls left, and the West Indies require 3 runs. So Tripano, we have Ashley Nurse, who has come into the middle now. So Ashley Holder is on strike because they crossed over. Ashley Nurse is the non-striker, and it's going to be Donald Tripano once again bowling the 3rd delivery, and he will be bowling to Jason Holder. So Jason Holder on strike, and Tripano is the bowler. In comes Tripano, bowls to Holder. Holder connects it well. He's going for the single. Now in fact, Holder has pushed the delivery, and the ball is ricocheted off the hand of the bowler, and it has gone and hit the stumps. And it seems Ashley Nurse is caught napping there. He's out of the crease, and up goes the umpire's finger. This is going to get really interesting. 2 wickets of 2 balls. The 3rd ball is once again nipped up a wicket. Ashley Nurse, without even facing a ball, is gone out at the non-strikers, and very unlucky, one could say, but nevertheless he is gone. So 2 wickets have gone here, and it is really getting a bit tight, one could say now, with but Jason Holder is still there, so that's the hope for the West Indies. So now we have 3 balls left, 3 runs to get, and Tripano now will be bowling to Jason Holder. The new batsman is Jason Carter. So let's see what happens. Tripano runs in, passing umpire. Holder is on strike, and Holder manages to actually get this fine of short third man region and gets across for a single. So it will bring the new man Jonathan Carter onto strike. So 2 of 2 balls required, and Jonathan Carter will be taking the strike for the first time to Donald Tripano. So 2 balls, the crowd is absolutely, they are really rooting for Zimbabwe. One can know that, but 2 runs of 2 balls, I'm sure West Indies are going to win this match. So let's see what happens. So Tripano is going to be the bowler, and it is going to be Carter on strike. Carter is a very aggressive cricketer. He can actually pull the ball. He has the strokes, wide range of strokes too. Probably he could finish the match off in this particular ball. Let's see what happens. In comes Donald Tripano. Will he scale up really as he comes in and bowls to Jonathan Carter. Jonathan Carter has actually got a ball on a good length. He has pulled it, but fortunately for him, it has not gone to hand. In fact, there was a fielder there who was actually trying to grab at it, but it was a very difficult catch, and now the scores are level. So there could be a sigh of relief for the West Indies now that the scores are level. So it brings Jason Holder on to strike, and 1 ball, and all that it requires is Holder to probably get a single or do whatever he can, and West Indies will be over the line. So let's see the final delivery coming up, but the crowd is still rooting for Zimbabwe. We know that it's a home crowd, and what an exciting match we are having. The final ball is coming up from Donald Tripano, but Tripano, one has to credit him. 4 runs, only 3 runs has been given so far, and 2 wickets have gone, and now Jason Holder is on strike. There's a big I would say a big hush at the ground right now. Everyone are waiting with bated breath. Can Tripano probably get a wicket here and finish it off in a tie? Let's see what happens. In comes there was a big discussion because before this particular delivery, as Jason Tripano is readying himself to bowl to Jason Holder. Jason Holder is on strike, and this is going to be very interesting. What is Tripano going to bowl? What is Jason Holder going to do? Let's see what happens. In comes Tripano, slowly in his run-up right now. Just now passes the umpire and bowls to Jason Holder. And Jason Holder, well, that could it be a wide? No, probably it is within the tram lines. Jason Holder has missed a ball which has gone outside the off stump. He has missed it, and the wicket keeper has taken it. Not only the wicket keeper, in fact, what Jason Holder, in fact, it's all over. The umpire has raised his finger, it's all over. Jason Holder was heading towards the non-striker. The non-striker Carter was running towards the striker's end, and Peter Moore has collected the ball, and he has thrown down the stumps underarm. It's all over, and the match has ended in a tie. Holder has been declared run out, and what a match, what an ending to this match here in the second match of the Tri-Series here in Bulawayo. The crowd is absolutely going joyous. They are absolutely delirious here. And this match, the third match of the Tri-Series here in Zimbabwe has ended in a tie. A tremendous performance from Zimbabwe, I thought. The match has ended in a tie. The Jason Holder, the West Indian captain, has been scalped in the final delivery. Look at the delivery that Donald Tripano bowled. Donald Tripano bowled a ball which was a slower delivery outside the off stump, but Jason Holder was trying to reach at it. He couldn't reach it, and he probably went for a bye. And let me tell you, it was just close to the tram lines. If it had just gone over the tram lines, it would have been declared a wide, but it's all over here, and Peter Moore has kept his cool. He saw Jonathan Carter running towards the striker's end. He picked up the ball, and he has taken his time, and he has underarmed the throw into the striker's stumps, and Jonathan Carter is still out of the crease. And that's all over, and the crowd is going absolutely wild here at Bulawayo. Zimbabwe has pulled off something that they probably wouldn't have thought of, and that match has ended in a tie. So both the teams end up on 257, and what a match we had today. The match going all the way down to the wire. Probably one would have set at 254 for 5 with 4 runs to get to the final over. West Indies would be taking this absolutely easily, but nothing of that sort about. Donald Tripano is the hero. Splendid bowling from him. 3 runs and 3 wickets in a single over. to actually force West Indies into a tie here, and that has enabled Zimbabwe and West Indies to actually share the points here, 2 points to both the teams. But what a match we had. Donald Tripano, take a bow, Donald Tripano. He bowled excellently throughout the day, and in the final over, he has really made it count. Splendid match here comes to an end here. So that was what I wanted to talk to you about, dear friends and subscribers. So this is the suspense, and now the cricket commentary is over. So I'm just going to skim through the details here. So Zimbabwe batted first, and on a damp track, Graham Creamer, the Zimbabwean skipper, one was wondering as to why he took the decision. In fact, he took the decision on a very cloudy day in damp conditions to actually probably one would have expected Creamer to insert the West Indies, but it was not to be. He inserted the Zimbabweans, and Zimbabweans went on to a score of 257. It was built around, they lost the openers pretty quickly. Brian Chari and Shibaba really played well, but they lost the wicket. Brian Chari was out for 15 of 41 deliveries with 1 4. Shibaba making 25, 33 balls, 4 4s. But Craig Arban and Sikandar Raza put up a very big partnership. In fact, they were the ones who retrieved the situation for the Zimbabweans after they lost the openers pretty quickly at 46 for 2. It was basically, it was 144 run, very entertaining partnership. Craig Irvine contributing 92 of 100 balls with 6 4s. Sikandar Raza making 77 of 81 balls with 7 4s. Other than that, there's a spectacular collapse. Probably one would have thought that Zimbabwe would have gone to a very big score here, probably in excess of 300. But unfortunately, with the score on 190, it was absolute capitulation by the Zimbabweans to the West Indies, as they lost wickets pretty quickly. Sean Williams was out for 2, Chigumbura for 8, Peter Moore for 6, Creamer for 8, Tripano made 14 of 9 deliveries, Chisoro was not out on move, Pofu was not out on 2, and Zimbabwe losing 8 wickets for 67 runs to be all out for 257. As far as the bowling was concerned, Brathwaite was the best bowler. In fact, he picked up his best bowling figures in one-day internationals. 10 overs, no more than 4 for 48, supported by Gabriel, 2 wickets, Jason Holder 2, and 1 wicket for Ashley Nurse. 2 for 45 for Gabriel, 2 for 47 for Jason Holder, and that was it. And as far as the West Indies were concerned, it was all set up. I mean, they lost Jason Charles early to the bowling of Tripano, was the best bowler today, no doubt about it. And then Craig Brathwaite, even Lewis was also cheaply dismissed for 18. But Craig Brathwaite and Shai Hope they really sort of stitched up a very good partnership. It was a similar scene as to what Zimbabwe went through when Craig Irwan and Sikandar Raza did it, and here it was Craig Brathwaite, the very technically perfect Brathwaite, a very compact player, and the other end was Shai Hope. And in the process, Craig Brathwaite went on to compose an innings of 78 of 117 deliveries with 2 4s, but Shai Hope went on to register his maiden one-day international century of 101 of 120 deliveries with 4 4s and 4 6s. Roman Powell entertained with 17 of 12 balls with 1 4 and 1 6. And then whatever I told you that happened in the final over with Zimbabwe with defending just 4 runs to the 4 runs to win of 6 deliveries in the final over, and Donald Tripano bowling excellently, I thought, went on to give Zimbabwe a tie with the West Indies, which helped them share the points. And Shai Hope definitely was named man of the match, and one understands why. Probably I would have gone for Donald Tripano as the man of the match, even though Shai Hope hit a century. The match adjudicators are the ones who are the best judges there, but on my cricket show, I would rather say, because to defend 4 runs of the final over in itself is a very big thing, especially in one-day cricket. One would 100 times out of 100 would have given the chances to the West Indies, but here it has been really a great feeling for the Zimbabweans. Pofu was very costly, 1 for 64, but Tripano excellent, 2 for 26. Chisoro none for 42, 1 for 44 Creamer, 2 for 52 Williams. I'm not going to go into those details, as I'm going to take you down to the next 2 matches, where I'm going to just do a very brief match summary. So we are going to the match between India versus England, and England, as we know, yesterday Ben Stokes and Jonathan Bairstow were the crease, and that was the very crucial pair. And yes, that was the one which was a worrisome factor for India, as they put on, as you know, they have had the best of partnerships. As a pair, they have put 772 runs in 2016, Jonathan Bairstow and Ben Stokes. And Jonathan Bairstow and Ben Stokes did exactly that. They started frustrating the Indians, as India, it took a long time. There was a 110-run partnership once again, with a contribution from Ben Stokes being 70 with 11 boundaries, Bairstow contributing 53 with 5 boundaries, but then Umesh Yadav produced a real nip-backer, a beautiful swinging Yorker, which hit the timber of Jonathan Bairstow. And after that, it was Ashwin who took it over. He picked up the wicket of Ben Stokes, LBW for 70. Adil Rashid really spanked a few good boundaries in his unbeaten knock of 32, but Jadeja picked up Ansari, and Ashwin cleaned up the tail. Broad and Anderson were LBW for 13 and 0 respectively, 255 all out, but they managed to avoid the follow-on, and India were leading by 200 runs. They got a lead of 200 runs. As far as the wicket taker was concerned, Ravichandran Ashwin went on to something great, because Ravichandran Ashwin, this was his first 5-wicket haul against the Englishmen. 29.5 overs, 6 maiden, 67 runs and 5 wickets. Tremendous bowling, and 1 wicket apiece to Shami, Yadav, Jadeja and Jayant Yadav. As far as India were concerned, India in their second dig, 200 runs ahead. They lost Murli Vijay. Broad really came into his own, and he really struck it big by picking both the openers. He picked up Murli Vijay for 3 as an inside edge, went on to Joe Root. KL Rahul feathered a ball from Broad outside the off stump into the hands of Bairstow for 10 with 2 boundaries, and Pujara, who really was beautifully tested, one thought, by James Anderson. The first delivery outside the off stump, the second delivery was a nip backer, and the final delivery found its target. It went through the bat and pad gap of Pujara and shattered his stumps. Pujara gone bowled by Anderson for 1, and then finally India were sitting at 98 for 3, thanks to Virat Kohli, who really played some very pleasing strokes. He was not at all overamped by the situation, and he thoroughly guided the Indians to the close at 98 for 3, with Virat Kohli's contribution being an unbeaten 56 with 6 delectably timed boundaries. Ajinkya Rahane was not on 22 with 2 boundaries, and India were leading by 298 runs. As I said, this pitch is really becoming pretty difficult to bat on, no doubt about it. And as far as the bowling was concerned, Broad had 2, 1 to Anderson, and here I leave you from here. It's going to be very difficult for England right now. India are the ones who probably are on the ascendant right now, as I could see it. So let's go on to the next match, and that is between Pakistan and New Zealand. As you know, Pakistan bowled out the Kiwis yesterday, which I talked about. They were all out for 200, so 67 runs lead for New Zealand. And Pakistan openers were really, they were kept on a tight leash by Trent Bolt, Saudi, Neil Wagner. But what was good was that Sami Aslam and Azhar Ali were really on the back foot. I mean, in 17 overs, they had added only 21 runs. Sami Aslam was grinding, and then finally Graham Home picked up his 7th international wicket, as he picked up Sami Aslam for 7. Azhar Ali is another one who was occupying the crease for a long time. He was knocked off by Bolt with a beautiful delivery, out for 31 with 4 boundaries. Neil Wagner showed his natural aggression as he started using his bouncer to good effect, and as you know, it's a very lethal weapon in Neil Wagner's armory, and that's what he precisely did. He bounced Babar Azam, a ball which was a bouncer outside the leg stump, and Babar Azam was caught fending it to Watling behind the sticks. He was gone for 29 with 3 boundaries. And Yunus Khan, Neil Wagner really started petrifying Yunus. He started pushing Yunus Khan on the back foot into the crease by peppering him with short deliveries, and then finally one short delivery reared up exceedingly well, and Yunus Khan was made to really jump into his crease there on the back foot, and before he could realize, it was all over. It had taken the handle of the bat, and Watling had picked up the snaffled it up, and Yunus Khan was gone for 1. Misbah-ul-Haq did his best, but then he was tempted into a hook shot by Saudi. He was gone for 13 with one boundary, and Sarfaraz Ahmed received a beauty of a delivery from Bolt, which went on to hit his stumps. He was gone for 2, and Mohammad Amir's wicket also was taken by Bolt, and Pakistan probably were trying to grind their way out, and I would say they got themselves totally grinded, as the Pakistan finished the day at 129 for 7, just 62 runs ahead, and New Zealand definitely sniffing a win here in the first test match. Sohail Khan biffed a few boundaries and also a 6, showed some real aggression in his unbeaten knock of 22 of 18 deliveries. He had company from the technically perfect Asad Shafiq not out on 6, as the day ended with Pakistan's score reading 129 for 6, 62 runs ahead. Trent bowled at 3 for 18, bowled marvellously. Saudi 1 for 43, 1 for 23 for Granholm, and Neil Wagner bowling very aggressively, picking up 2 wickets. And the wicket that he took of Yunus Khan was a real gem, I would say. Well, dear fans, friends, subscribers, that really sums up this cricket happening show of mine today. Hope you all loved it, and also loved the exciting cricket commentary that I brought you over in the final over in the match which went down to the wire between Zimbabwe and West Indies, which ended in a tie. On this note, this is your host Ram signing off this on a Saturday. Thank you.